How's it going, everybody? RazingHel here, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Starve Together MODlight, in which I take a look at some of the mods that I've been playing with over the past week or two. To get started with here, we're going to be taking a look at the Base Camp client-only version. It was created by Lunisolar. So this is a client-side mod, and it adds base camps you can spawn into the world using the command line in Don't Starve Together. There are no configurations for it, so you just have to jump in and hope for the best, really, because one of the small problems that I've had with this mod is you actually kind of need the mod page open at the same time, so that way you can remember all the different commands that spawn in the various set pieces. So here I am in the desert, close to a base that I immediately spawned in. I did not need to build any of this base, and as you can see, it's laid out quite nicely. We got a couple of crock pots here, some ice boxes, some chests, our alchemy engine, and shadow manipulator. And this is cool if you want to just throw yourself into a scenario without having to build up to it. So let's say I'm trying something new. I want to have the legitimate Don't Starve experience where I actually need to gather resources and whatnot and sustain myself naturally. But at the same time, I do not feel like going through the effort of building up that base. So here I have a base that's just immediately available to me. Now you might be wondering, how exactly does this work? Well, you have to open up the remote command line. So you can open this up by pressing the tilde key on US keyboards. I'm not sure what it is for other keyboards. It's probably something else. You can figure that out. And there are commands that the client or the Basecamp mod page has. So for example, Basecamp ROG 0, I should say. ROG stands for Reign of Giants. We're just going to find a location a little bit further away from this base to spawn the new one in. But the idea is that you can paste that command into the command line and Don't Starve Together. Too many bases around here, apparently. Like, there are a whole bunch of other ones I want to show you, but okay, this should be a decent place. So we'll copy and paste it into here, as you can see. Basecamp ROG 0. Make sure, a couple of things you need to make sure of before you start doing this is, one, that you actually have the mod enabled. It's easy to forget it in a way because it's a client mod, and sometimes you don't, like, this seems like a server type mod, but it's not. The other thing you want to keep in mind is that it needs to be local. It cannot be run remotely. So you press Control on your keyboard. If it says remote to the left side of the command line, if you copy and paste, it will automatically revert to local though. So that's an easy way to get around it. And just press Enter. And there you can see a brand new base ready for your use. But as you can see here, we have more than just one base. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other ones that you can spawn in. So this right here is called a butterfly farm. The general idea behind it is, I accidentally let the cat coon out. I was not supposed to do that. It spawns in, it adds a cat coon to it, and then you have your walls here, which you can use to block the cat coon in, so that way when any butterflies spawn, the cat coon will automatically kill them. Of course, in Don't Starve Together, we have doors now, so the wall is a little bit outdated. But, I mean, you can update that yourself. And here's what it looks like when you spawn it in. As you can see right there's the cat. And during the daytime, when the butterflies spawn, the cat coon will automatically kill them. Like so. Now, there are a couple of prefabricated camps here that were designed for Reign of Giants and not Don't Starve Together. So right here is a dragonfly camp. And over here we have the fire farm. Of course, this doesn't work in Don't Starve Together because fire doesn't spread the same way. It smolders now instead of just instantly catching stuff on fire. There are a couple of different base designs. So this is one base design right here. It doesn't have a fire pit or an endothermic. But as you can see, this base design here is a little bit bigger, and it does have both a fire pit and an endothermic just outside the range of the flingomatic. You can spawn in a pig farm right here. Quite a few pigs available. You got one flingo to protect it all, and a lightning rod to make sure that it doesn't catch on fire due to lightning strikes. And you got your little bit of pig skin right inside the middle of this wall to keep them all gathered around it for easy harvesting. You can also spawn in a spider farm here. As you can see, we have both pigs and bunny men for farming spiders during the day and the night. It also has the pig skin right here in the center, so that way the pigs will stick around for the most part. And it also has a lightning rod and a flingomatic to protect everything to make sure that nothing gets set on fire. So right there, that's a pretty good source of silk and spider glands. And that's really all this mod does. The one thing I'd like to see improved on this mod, I think, potentially, is the ability to add your own little presets to it rather easily. I think that would make it quite compelling for people who have an idea of a base that they really like the look of, but don't want to build it every single time they want it to appear. This is something I would find personally useful, as a lot of my worlds when I'm doing mods are new, and so I don't have a base built up to actually demonstrate stuff in. So I would like it to be a little bit more active, so you don't just see a blank canvas, but you actually see a base, and it would be a base that I'd regularly use. But there's no way to save those kinds of presets into it. But it would be pretty interesting if you could add your own, I think. Okay, so the second mod we are going to be looking at here is called Glimmer and Family DST by Jamie Nufio, aka Code Monkey. Glimmer joins the world of Don't Starve together. It will spawn babies when Glimmer's around, drops healing items called Glimmer Statue periodically. There's a craftable shrine. This mod can be configured for the recipe type because you craft the Glimmer Statue. It's in the magic tab. The amount of babies that Glommer and Glimmer can have, the birth rates, and the drop rate. So let's take a look at it. What inspired me to install this mod was the fact that I had, as a joke in the past, called Glommer Glimmer, in the way that some people call spiders spooters, just for an example. And it was pointed out to me that there actually exists a Glimmer mod, which adds in a secondary Glommer-type creature that can serve as a mate for Glommer. So right here are Glommer and Glimmer. Now I've spent a little bit of time playing through this, and I haven't gotten to a whole lot, but the general premise of it is, though, that you can find the Glimmer Statue inside the Magic tab, right here. In our case, we have the standard recipe, so it costs 20 rocks, 1 telltale heart, and nightmare fuel, and you just go ahead and you build that. And then when a full moon comes around, it will spawn a Glimmer to it, next to it, similar to the way the Glommer Statue spawns a Glommer. You get these flowers right here, as you can see. Got a Glimmer flower, you got a Glommer flower. Glimmer drops the Glimmer sap, which is actually a little bit better than Glommer because there are no downsides. It doesn't cost you any sanity, it just gives you sanity and health. And then the flowers themselves actually will spawn babies, or Glimmer's flower spawns babies, I should say. I'm not exactly sure what you can use the babies for, and they bounce around so much you can't even examine them. So as you can see, now we get Glommer goop and Glimmer goop, or they call it Glimmer sap. And I increased the rate at which these babies spawn, because when I first tried this out, I left it at the default, and not a single one had spawned even after 60 days in-game. As you can see, it is day 60 right now. I had not seen a single one of these babies spawn, and now we have 4 of them. So the big question is, what do they yield upon death? I think this is a question on everyone's mind. Monster meat and goop, and wings, apparently. But it does not spawn Krampus, which is also rather interesting. They don't seem to have a naughtiness penalty for some reason. And I'm not sure if Glimmer has a naughtiness penalty either. There goes Glimmer. Okay, let's try killing Glommer just to make sure this all works. Yep, here comes Krampus. Okay, so for some reason, attacking Glimmer does not spawn Krampus, or attacking the babies, which I think could be improved. I think the babies should spawn something truly awful because it's like horrendous to kill a tiny Glommer. I wonder if they even grow up. I don't know. I suspect they don't, but yeah, so if you attack Glommer, Krampus will spawn as usual, but if you attack and kill Glimmer or any of their offspring, it doesn't spawn any Krampus, which I think could be improved, but it's just a little curious mod, like something fun to do, I guess, and then you get some additional sap that you should pick up before the pigs eat it. So that's the Glimmer and Family mod for Don't Starve Together. It's all the mods that I have here to showcase today, but as per usual, the links to the mods themselves on the Steam Workshop will be in the description below this video, so if you're interested, go check them out. If you like them, be sure to thank the creator for taking the time to create and share it with us. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching as always, and I hope to see you next time.